Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson, and this is Tactical Preview of Manchester United against AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League. So, avoid at all costs is what I've got as a title, and avoid at all cost is what I mean. We need to avoid those dropping out of the Champions League. Teams like Inter, teams like Ajax. You have to avoid them, because if we're going to progress in this competition, we have to do so. It doesn't really become as serious until the semi-final, final sort of stage. We can't compete on the multiple fronts that we are in with all the other big teams that are coming in on it. We have to avoid it at all costs. We have to get through as far as we can, because look, football is about winning trophies. If it was given to me, my preference would be that United do well in the league and we finish inside the top four, and yeah, go and win a trophy anyway. But I don't really care for needing to win a trophy to get into the top four, into the Champions League, you know what I mean? So I hope United do it the league style, and I hope we're able to avoid coming second in this group, which means that we then have to win this match against AZ Alkmaar. Which means that we're probably going to have to play a slightly stronger team than we wanted to. I don't think we're going to go as totally real strong as we did in the last game against the Stan. I think we're going to go a little bit more rotated than that. So let's have a look what Ollie had to say then. He says, Delo is back in full training. He said, Nemanja Matic is also back. And he said he'd probably feature. Rojo is injured and will be back next week. He said Bailly and Fosu Mensah are training with the team from next week. A few weeks out for those. Pogba's not ready but won't be far away. Been hearing that for about 6 weeks now. Jesse Lingard sat out training after getting a knock against Manchester City. So I reckon there's going to be a bit of a stronger side this time as he tries to wrap up the group and finish top of the group. Jimmy Garner could be involved. Obviously, he was substituted in the 3-1 win over West Brom on Monday night. My inkling is I think Dylan Levitt could be involved. That's a performance he put in. So current form for United, then obviously we sit 5th in the Premier League after those great wins over City and Spurs. I'll say it again for those who didn't quite hear that. After the back-to-back victories against Manchester City and Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur. Pretty good. I enjoyed that. 5 points behind Chelsea. We have won both games in the Europa League at home so far this season. And we've scored in every game except the previous game against AZ Alkmaar, where everybody lost their shit. So we hope to avenge that and get into the mix with it. And hopefully we have a decent performance. Opposition then, AZ Alkmaar are unbeaten in their last 9 matches, 8 wins and 1 draw. They sit second in Eredivisie, 3 points behind the leaders Ajax. 18-year-old Myron Boadu is suspended. He's currently the 3rd top scorer in the league. He's got 10 goals and 5 assists in 15 appearances. Arne Slot's team boasts the best defensive record in the team, having conceded just 8 goals so far. Alkmaar have only one of 7 sides who've got an unbeaten record in the Europa League group stages, including ourselves, and they're not including ourselves even. And they're also leading scorers in the competition proper, having scored 15 goals in their 5 matches. Danger man is probably Idrissi and Calvin Stengs, who've got 7 goals contributions between them. My player to watch for United is going to be Juan Mata. When I put the full 11 out, I'll show you exactly why, but I really think that Juan Mata is going to be needed to both knit together this team. I think that AZ are going to sit back and try and counter us and offer that sort of low block that we're a nightmare at breaking down. So I want somebody like Juan Mata putting the finishing touches on what's going to happen in the final third for us. We don't need to be as combative as we would normally need to be. So Juan Mata for me, the player to watch. 0.8 key passes in Europa League, near enough 90% completion rate, pass completion rate. He's played in 4 out of 5 Europa games so far, and not in any of the losses. He didn't play against Astana. So I think Juan Mata's probably going to play in this game. Let's have a look at the 11. Here's what I'm thinking United are going to line up like. I've gone for Romero in net, Ethan Laird at right back, Maguire alongside Axel Tuanzebe and Brandon Williams at left back. Ollie says Matic is going to feature. I don't think he'll start for definite, but I think there's a good chance he will. And I wanted to rest Scott and I wanted to rest Fred, so I'm going to play Jimmy. I'm not going to play Jimmy Gunnar. I'm going to play Matic and probably give him 60 minutes and bring him on bring him off, for Jimmy Garner to get 30 at the end. Dylan Levitt's going to play. Dylan Levitt's going to play over Jimmy Garner for me because of his passing ability and his ability to thread a ball into the final third. As we saw against Astana, I thought it was lethal. Over 100 passes. He was absolutely phenomenal. And I want to see him rewarded for that with another game. One matter, as I said there in the 10, James, Rashford and Greenwood. Tony Marshall's obviously not 100% fit. He's coming in and out of the team, so I think he deserves a rest, and I think that would be a good use of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's squad. That's my predicted 11. Let me know your score predictions on that. Do you agree with me with that team? Do you disagree with me with that team? Let me know in the comments and tell us what you've got. I'm going to go over to the Patreon group and see what the questions are from those lads for this. Let's have a look. Erland says, does it really matter if we finish first or second in the group, or should the main focus be keeping everybody fit for Everton? Ultimately, no, it doesn't matter, and Everton would be the focus. As I said, I want to see us finish top of our group. Go back to the main screen now if you want, Cam. I want to see us finish high as possible in the league and not have to rely on Europa League, but it is a competition that we're in, so you might as well try and win it. So ultimately, no, it doesn't matter, because you could get drawn against a team and you go, oh my God, we've got a big team. Well, we've been all right against the big teams. It's the teams that don't attack us that we've been shit against. So maybe it'd be a blessing in disguise to get a team that we're probably unfancied against. Connor says, will we see Laird again? And would he be converted to a right winger? No, he's a defender. He's definitely a defender. He's a great fullback. Could we see him again, though? I hope so. As you've just seen, I've selected him in my 11, so I hope we do. Given that Matic playing is confirmed, do you think we would play a 4-3-3 with Matic in the 6? No, as you've seen, I think we're going with a 4-2-3-1. Who do we need and who can we afford to rest against AZ? Not many can we rest, because there's not that many out there, is there? But I would rest Fred and McTominay, because the engine room is going to be needed against Everton. That was why I rested both of those. And I've rested Tony Marshall, because obviously he's only just come back from injury, and he's injured and he's not injured, and what's going on with him. So I've left him out. And I think James and Marcus can start. Let's get a couple of goals on the board. Let's put the game to bed. Let's put the group to bed. And then we can bring in somebody else off the bench. Maybe even somebody like Damani Mella, who looked great, or maybe somebody else like maybe Gomez or something. Is it possible Matic plays with Garner and Levitt in a 4-3-3? I think it's possible, but I'm pretty sure Matt is going to play in this game. Hugh says, would it be possible? Would it best to play a strong team, win the group, and rest most of the players next week against Colchester? Again, we'll come to the Colchester game as we get to it, but yes, I would expect a slightly rotated team against AZ and then a heavily rotated team against Colchester. We have to win against Everton, though. Do I think Ollie will prioritise Europa League over getting top 4? No. No, I think the bread and butter is the league, and it's such a lottery. Like, you can just be, boom, out of a cup after nothing. You're like, right, we've just wasted 6 months of not trying to concentrate on it. No. What's my favourite pub for pre-game drinks? I don't usually go for a pub pre-game drinks. I go to hotel football now, but for years it was the Trafford, usually. A good chance to get youngsters out. Any chance Galbraith could challenge for the number 10 spot with someone potentially out the door, says Melv. I don't really see Galbraith as a 10. I see him definitely more as a bit of a combative number 8, a real busy sort of number 8. What minute for Brandon's yellow card? 57. Will Andreas gain form again like he did in the summer? That's an interesting one. I didn't even consider him for this game, to be honest with you. What kind of team do I want to see? Obviously, I show you my team all the time anyway. Florian, how many hat-tricks do I think Greenwood will score this game? Will Brandon get sent off? Greenwood would be my choice for first goal scorer for definite. Brandon, I think Brandon's going to have his discipline overplayed, much like Rooney did. He is going to get sent off at some point without a shadow of a doubt, but I don't think it's this week. With all players available, what's our best formation? 4-3-3 for me. I don't really like 4-2-3-1. But in certain games it works, but 4-3-3 is what I want to see us play. Does Matic have any real value in the squad? Yeah, let Scott have a rest. Dean, do you think we should put Angel in the Jesse role for this game and play Garner and Matic to save Fred and Scott? Well, I'm playing Levitt and Matic. Gunnar and Matic for me would be a little bit on the combative side, and I want someone that can play ball a little bit more because I do expect AZ. They've got a great defence. They're very tough to break down. I want some ball players in this team. That's why I've gone with Mata, and that's why I've gone with Dylan Levitt. Would I rest Rashford? Everyone's saying yes in here, but I wouldn't. Actually, I'd start him, and hopefully with an eye that he only gets an hour. United need at least a draw to finish top in the group. With that said, should we fall short and place runners up? Do I think that will make the next round a bit more challenging? As I've already said, we might be better against the bigger team. I'd rather finish top and make sure that we didn't, but it might be a blessing in disguise. Timbo's still a bit far off. Would Ollie give Gomez a chance? Not sure. I think he might, but he also might not. People are just asking the same thing about is Rashford playing or how fast Timbo for return. Lads, please read what everyone else has put. Otherwise, I'm just reading the same questions all the time. Would I use this game to tinker with the formation? I think a 4-3-3. No, not this game, because I don't think we've got the full personnel available to us. But 4-3-3 for me is what I want to see going forward. Mother Fakir says, do I think Levitt starts? Yes, I guess so. I'll just put him in my team. With a January transfer window nearby, are there any players from the Championship we should be looking at? I couldn't really fucking tell you. I don't watch enough of the Championship where I've got, here's my top 5 players. But you know what? Maybe we can do that in January and we can start having a scout of some players and see who's going to be worthy of it. Do I think Williams hasn't played the big 6 games against Tottenham and City to keep him grounded, or does he trust Shaw and Young more? Not a clue, mate. Not a clue. I'd have played him ahead of both in both games. Who do I reckon captains tomorrow? Let's have a look at my team. Out of that lot, probably Maguire captains that, possibly Mata, but I would think probably Maguire. And would I take someone from Alkmaar? I wouldn't be averse to, but I don't think there's anybody that stands out that I'm like, we definitely need that player in our team. So there we go. Let's see what some of the questions are on YouTube. Have I heard about the apparent Haaland release clause? Well, I know the Athletic quoted it or mentioned it in an article yesterday, which makes me think that there's probably some truth to it, you know. What happens to Laird when Delo comes back? What are you talking about? What happens to Delo when fucking Laird walks into the changing room? Delo's not on the same level as Ethan Laird. Are you mental? Hearing news that Pogba is gone and a deal is done. It's been my vibe that he's going to be going anyway. I haven't heard anyone confirm that, but it is my vibe that I think that's going to happen. Kelvin Stengs is a BTEC Mahrez. We'll watch him nail us now after saying that. Midfield of Levitt, Gunnar and Matic. It could be. It definitely could be. But I think he'll probably bring Mata in as well. So that means Mata's probably going to be in the 10. Do I think Pogba will play again? Yes. But when that is, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. Righty, I'm going to wrap it up there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like the video. It honestly helps us getting seen. Remember, I'll be doing a watch along on my channel that I won't be part of. That come out wrong, didn't it? There'll be a watch along on my channel with the Stretford Paddock lads doing a takeover while they're unfairly incarcerated and not allowed to do live streams. So there will be a watch along on this channel tomorrow. So make sure to come and check it out and let me know in the comments which of the presenters do you think's the biggest widge. Not got the biggest widge. It is a widge. So check those out. There's also some Angel Gomez contract update on the Discord app, I guess you could call it. So go and check that out. Come and join Patreon if you want to know the inside scoop on what's going on with the Angel Gomez contract situation, as there's a decision to be made, I think it's fair to say, for Angel. And I'm not sure which way he's going to go with it. But if you want to know that and you want to be the first on the inside scoop for all of the transfer stuff that's happening as we approach the January transfer window, link is in the description. Come and join the Patreon group. You get that and loads of extra content, including the Patreon podcast, which I am about to drop in about 1 minute. So you guys will get the notification for that in a second. But like I said, if you want the Gomez contract info, and there's all sorts of extra content and all that kind of shit as well, I'll see you in the next one. Laters.